Let me start with an uncomfortable observation. Most people who say they're doing well financially still feel tense when they open their banking app. They earn more than their parents did, more than their friends did a few years ago, sometimes more than they ever imagined they would. And yet, the stress never really leaves. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're bad with money, but because higher income quietly fails to do the one thing they expected it to do: make life feel secure. Today, I want to explain why high salaries don't create wealth and what actually does. No hype, no motivation, just calm math and human behavior. Let's take a very normal example. You're in your late 20s or early 30s. You land a solid job. In the US, maybe you're earning $90,000 a year. In Europe, maybe 65,000 euros. On paper, that sounds like success, but let's slow it down. After taxes, insurance, and payroll deductions, that $90,000 becomes roughly $5,000 a month in your bank account. Now, life starts filling in the gaps. Your rent or mortgage is $1,800, your car payment is $500, insurance, fuel, and maintenance at another $300, student loans or education debt, $400, groceries, phone, internet, utilities, $700. You're already around $3,700. Then come the quiet ones. Streaming subscriptions, eating out, weekend trips, a nicer gym, a phone upgrade, a wardrobe that matches your role now. Another $800 disappears without much resistance. Now you're at $4,500. You're left with $500. That's your margin. And that margin is what determines whether money feels calming or suffocating. Here's the trap. When income rises, people don't say, "I now have more room." They say, "I can now afford more." And that single shift changes everything. The car gets newer, not safer. The apartment gets bigger, not freer. The lifestyle gets smoother, but also heavier. Nothing feels reckless, nothing feels extreme. It all feels reasonable. But reasonable choices stacked together can quietly recreate the same pressure you had at a lower income, just with nicer furniture. So people earn more, spend more, and still feel behind, not because they failed, but because the system and human psychology push them there. The mistake isn't spending, it's anchoring your life to your income instead of your margin. Most people think wealth is about how much comes in. In reality, wealth is about how much stays flexible. Money that is already assigned to rent, debt, obligations, expectations is not wealth. It's spoken for. Two people can earn very different salaries and experience completely different levels of freedom. Person A earns $60,000 and keeps $1,200 a month uncommitted. Person B earns $120,000 and keeps $300. Person B looks richer. Person A is richer functionally, because margin absorbs stress. Margin absorbs mistakes. Margin absorbs life. High salaries don't guarantee margin. They often erase it. Let's extend the timeline. That $500 monthly margin, it feels fine until something breaks. A medical bill, a job change, a market slowdown, a family emergency. Now the credit card steps in. And once debt fills the gap that margin should have covered, the math flips against you. $8,000 on a credit card at 20% interest isn't just $8,000. It's a future tax on your attention, your choices, and your sleep. Not dramatic, just persistent. Over 10 years, this cycle repeats. Income rises again, expenses quietly follow, stress remains, and people conclude the wrong thing: I just need to earn more. This isn't stupidity, it's psychology. Humans adapt quickly to improved conditions. What once felt luxurious becomes baseline. A nicer apartment stops feeling extra after 6 months. A higher salary stops feeling special after the first lifestyle adjustment. But obligations don't adapt downward, they only stack. And socially, higher income comes with invisible pressure to live like someone at your level, to not appear behind, to not downgrade. So people protect lifestyle first and margin last, not because they're shallow, because they're human. Modern financial systems quietly benefit from this behavior. Predictable earners, predictable spenders, predictable debt patterns. A person with high income and low flexibility is extremely reliable to banks, landlords, and lenders. They show up every month. But reliability is not the same as security, and comfort is not the same as wealth. People who build real financial stability don't obsess over income. They obsess over optionality. They ask quieter questions. How hard is my life to downsize? How many months could I breathe if income paused? How much of my money is still undecided? They don't win by earning more first. They win by refusing to lock in every raise. When income increases, they don't upgrade everything. They let margin expand before lifestyle does. That margin then becomes time, choice, patience, which ironically often leads to better long-term earnings anyway, but that's a side effect, not the goal. Wealth isn't visible. It's not the car, it's not the apartment, it's not the salary number. Wealth is waking up knowing that one unexpected event won't collapse your entire structure. High salaries can support that, but they don't create it by default. Only margin does. If you earn well and still feel stressed, nothing is wrong with you. You didn't miss a secret. You didn't fail a test. You just learned, often the hard way, that income alone doesn't buy peace. Clarity does. Margin does. And once you start seeing money through that lens, decisions feel quieter, less emotional, more grounded. If this helped you think more clearly, not motivated, just clearer, you can like the video or subscribe. Not for inspiration, just for better thinking.